known its office.
Well, good evening. It is an absolute pleasure to once again be your host this evening here at the beautiful Government House Ballroom. And whether you're here with us in the room or watching online, welcome and thank you for being with us to celebrate some truly remarkable people. Now, you can share tonight's celebration on social media using the hashtag #OzOfTheYear. And all around the country over the last couple of weeks, each state and territory has had their own Australian of the Year awards to recognise and celebrate extraordinary achievement, and tonight it is our turn. Now, before we get underway, I would like to acknowledge our dignitaries here tonight. Please bear with me, it is a rather long list. His Excellency, the Honourable Chris Dawson, AC APM Governor of Western Australia, and Mrs Darrylyn Dawson. The Honourable Roger Cook, MLA, Premier of Western Australia and Minister for State Development, Trade and Investment and Economic Diversification. The Honourable Patrick Gorman, MP, Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, Assistant Minister for the Public Service, Assistant Minister for Employment and Workplace Relations. The Honourable Dr Anne Alley, MP, Minister for Small Business, International Development and Multicultural Affairs. The Honourable Rhys Whitby, MLA, Minister for Police, Road Safety, Tourism and Great Southern. Basil Zempilas, MLA, Leader of the Opposition. The Honourable Kate Doust, MLC, Member for Western Australia. Scott Leary, MLA, Shadow Minister for Commerce and Tourism. Lachlan Hunter, MLA, Shadow Minister for Agriculture and Food, Racing and Gaming. Also nice to see a few former Members of Parliament here. I'm not done yet. Bruce Reynolds, the Lord Mayor of the City of Perth. Bradley Woods, Chairman of Auspire, Australia Day Council WA. Mark Fraser, AO CVO, the CEO of the National Australia Day Council. Nikki Govan, Board Member of the National Australia Day Council. Manny Papadoulis, Board Member, National Australia Day Council. Morgan Lewis, the CEO of Auspire, Australia Day Council of WA. Mike Rowe, the Director-General of the Department of Communities. Chad Anderson, the Director-General of the Department of Creative Industries, Tourism and Sport. Trish Blake, Commissioner of Consumer Protection, who is here representing the Director-General of the Department of Local Government, Industry Regulation and Safety. Welcome also to Mayors and Presidents from WA's local government authorities, Auspire board members, our Australian of the Year alumni and sponsor representatives. I told you, this is the place to be tonight. And of course, a very warm welcome to all of our award finalists and your families. You are extraordinary people, and as you will all soon find out, our finalists are to be admired with their stories of courage, of compassion, of resilience and hope. These are the stories of selfless West Australians who are making a difference simply because they care about all of you. And that is the spirit of the Australian of the Year Awards. Now, before we get underway, please welcome Whadjuk custodian Rosemary Wally, who is here to perform a Welcome to Country.
Kai everyone, Kaya Wanju, so hi, welcome. I say Murij Mam and Murij Yorgas, so strong, beautiful men, women, Kwabarak Kulingas, beautiful children that are here tonight. For me, I'm honoured to be here standing before you on Whadjuk Budja. There's a Kalimaya of the Whadjuk people overlooking the Derbil Yarrik and the Swan River, the Waggle Dreaming Track. My father-in-law used to say double kang kuling, meaning go steady, steady, slowly, slowly. Because if you go too fast, walk too quick, you miss the karak, meaning the red tail, the white tail, singing through the air. You miss Budlang, the pelican, flying through the air, Mali, the swan. My heart, we say my Murij Court, Murij Mort, meaning my heart is my family is my heart. I just want to share something with you. It's a Kalimaya of the Whadjuk people, and over time those campfires started slowly going down, going out. And over time there was almost nothing left. And then Nyungar people started slowly building their campfires one by one, their camp sticks. And then all of a sudden non-Aboriginal people started joining, building their campfires. Fire stick by fire stick by fire stick. And what that meant So our songs will always be sung. Our corroborees, our dances will always be danced. Our language will never be forgotten. Our culture will always be practiced. And so without you guys standing side by side with us, the next generation coming through will also be the caretakers of our culture, of our songs, of our language, of our dances, for everybody to enjoy. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Rosemary. I'd now like to invite Magda Lisek to the stage, and if you are able, please stand for the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. A land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the sea, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia
Wow, what a voice, Magda. Thank you very much. Now to the awards, and yet again, as we do every year, we received thousands of nominations, and I'm told it was a pretty tough shortlist process to get to the final 17 nominees here with us tonight. And thank you again to the selection panel for taking on such a tough job. Now, there will be a recipient in each of the 4 categories: Australia's Local Hero, Young Australian of the Year, Senior Australian of the Year, and of course the Australian of the Year. And they will then join other state and territory recipients at the National Awards. That's when the Prime Minister will reveal the National Award recipients live on the ABC on the eve of Australia Day. So let's take a moment, please, to congratulate all of our finalists. And let us now hear from the Governor of Western Australia, His Excellency the Honourable Chris Dawson, AC APM.
Well, thank you, Nadia, and good evening all. And Kaya, welcome to Government House. It is a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate Western Australia, and we thank Rosemary Whalley for the welcome to country, and we acknowledge the Whadjuk Noongar people and pay our respects. This is a wonderful celebration this evening. My wife Darren and I are privileged to presently call this home, but it's a home for all Western Australians. And in our contemporary history, this ballroom has held many really significant events. We honour people for bravery and for community work and a whole range of endeavours, and tonight is a real culmination of how we can indeed celebrate individuals who give more of themselves for all of us. So in that sense, Nadia has done such a comprehensive welcome of everyone. I will acknowledge the Honourable Premier, the Leader of the Opposition, the Chair, members of all the respective boards, members of Parliament, all. I do want to obviously respect everyone in here, but in particular thanking the past recipients, who I can see a number of them sitting in the audience here. But we're here to focus on the 17 Western Australians who are members of a really elite group, people who have, just as I've mentioned, given of themselves, and we'll hear a lot more about why they are here. The nominees have some unique stories, and they include a doctor developing medicines for Australia's rarest diseases, a choir director, a construction boss creating opportunities for Aboriginal people in the mob. There's a wellness platform founder and a physiotherapist flying healthcare to remote communities and others. So we'll hear a few more details, but there are some shared similarities because you all care about what you do. And in that, it is giving of yourselves for the benefit of all of us. And it appears to me you care more about others than you do yourselves. And often, when I'm handing out awards, one of the most common things that's said sort of privately is, oh, I didn't really do it for this reason. And that, I think, shows an Australian humility. And I'm sure that some of the people coming up here really don't like the limelight, but you should be proud. Your family, your loved ones are here and they've been supporting you, as we all do, and we do want you to feel honoured and valued in what we are celebrating. I think to Bradley and those that are stewards of these awards, and those of you that have nominated people, you also need to take some credit, because these people would not be honoured unless someone took an interest and actually proposed that. And that speaks to our service, to our innovation, to our community and to our leadership. So not only during big events such as Anzac Day, we had Remembrance Day earlier this week, WA Day, Darren and I have a great viewfinding of travelling throughout the state and seeing wonderful people doing wonderful things all over our state. We were thrilled with, amongst all of the other winners from last year, that brother Ollie Pickett, for instance, was named Australia's National Senior Australian of the Year for his incredible work in how he corrals hundreds of people and then the givers for an enormous number. I think it's over 60,000 wheelchairs. It's just an incredible example of selfless service. And in doing that, I have a really great anticipation of what we'll hear more about. Just in winding up, as an example of Western Australia, amongst others that are in this room, I was one of the people at the West Australian sort of buttonholed a few weeks ago and said, tell us what you think about Western Australia in 200 words or less. So borrowing a little bit from Monty Python, I said rhetorically, apart from the incredible beaches, epic landscapes, perfect weather, world-class wine, unique wildlife, amazing cuisine, vibrant cities, historic town sites, valuable minerals, invaluable Indigenous culture, sporting greats, scientific genius, mighty musicians, medical marvels, war heroes, nation-building business leaders, what has Western Australia ever given us? Well, our greatest treasure, our people. And of the 17 people nominated here tonight, that's further evidence of what we can and do lead by example, not just in this part of our great country, but across the nation. The future of WA is in great hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor, and thank you again for opening your home to us, because we really enjoy being here. Well, time now to welcome to the stage the Honourable Roger Cook MLA, Premier of Western Australia.
Thank you, Nadia. I'm delighted to be with you all this evening and begin by acknowledging that we are on the lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people, the traditional owners of this country. We acknowledge their elders past and present and thank Rosemary for her wonderful spiritual and warm welcome this evening. I also acknowledge the Governor-General, His Excellency Chris Dawson and Mrs Darrell Dawson. It's wonderful it's wonderful to be the Vice Patron of Auspire with you both. I'd also like to acknowledge Nadia Mitsopoulos from ABC Radio Perth, Bradley Woods, Auspire Chair, Auspire members, my Cabinet colleagues, the Leader of the Opposition and elected members from the federal, state and local governments and distinguished guests. And of course, I acknowledge the incredible Western Australians here tonight who have been shortlisted as finalists. You are the local heroes, the community leaders, the entrepreneurs, the advocates and the activists that are so integral to what makes WA such a great place to live. So thank you for all that you've done for WA and all that you will continue to do. It's really my privilege to be here tonight. Later on, I'll announce the finalists of the 2026 Australia's Local Hero and Young Australians of the Year Awards. But before I do, I'd like to recognise the story of all finalists in all categories. Your stories reflect the qualities that makes me so proud to be Western Australian. Western Australians are innovative, like those making breakthroughs in rare disease medicine and tackling mental health challenges in the digital age. Western Australians are committed to community, like those creating employment pathways for women escaping violence or using sport to unite communities. Western Australians are respectful of culture and country, like those advocating for appropriate mental health care for Aboriginal people and creating job opportunities for Aboriginal people in construction. And Western Australians are passionate about sustainability, like those advancing plant science and conservation and designing eco-friendly homes for a greener future. Together, your achievements paint a picture about the kind of society that WA is. One that is resilient, one that is compassionate, one that is resourceful. Tonight's awards don't just recognise individual achievement, they recognise the power of community. As Premier of this great community, I want to continue leading the government that makes WA even better. Real change only happening when we work together as a community. If we do not work together, we as a government will not be able to build more hospitals, more homes, build safer and more inclusive communities and protect and restore our environment. And if we don't work together, we won't be able to ensure WA remains the strongest economy in the country. Because a strong economy isn't just about numbers, it's about people. It's about you. It's about the work you do every day to keep our communities thriving. Tonight is about celebrating your spirit, the vitality and energy you bring that makes WA unique. Tonight isn't about accolades, it's about impact. And each of you has made a remarkable impact. On behalf of the WA Government, thank you for your dedication and your passion. Thank you for inspiring us and showing us what's possible when you lead with purpose. And no matter the outcome tonight, please know that you've done WA proud. Enjoy the evening and good luck. Thank you.
Lead with purpose. Well said, Premier, and it's lovely to have you here tonight. Please now welcome the Chair of Auspire Australia Day Council WA, Bradley Woods.
Thank you very much, Nadia. I'd like to start by acknowledging the Whadjuk Noongar people and also their elders past and present. Welcome on behalf of the Australia Day Council of Western Australia to the presentation of the Australian of the Year Awards. Tonight we honour, as has been mentioned by both the Governor and the Premier, people who are visionaries, leaders and quiet achievers, whose courage, advocacy and innovation shape our community, our state and our nation. Since 1960, these awards have honoured Australians who dedicate and demonstrate resilience and leadership. Our finalists continue this reflection in the values of fairness, inclusivity and respect, values that define our national character. Aussies share something powerful, a belief that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. And we celebrate the actions that lift up others, strengthen our communities, and inspire our nation's future. Tonight I'd like to thank our patrons, our joint patrons, His Excellency, the Honourable Chris Dawson, Governor of Western Australia. Mrs Dawson, thank you for hosting us this evening at Government House. To our Vice Patron, the Honourable Roger Cook, Premier of Western Australia, thank you for joining us this evening and for your government's support for these awards and AustBuy's year-round community initiatives. That support enables us to deliver the Community Citizen of the Year Award, the Schools Aussie of the Month program, the Inspiring Australians Network series, and our education programs in Aboriginal cultural awareness and intercultural diversity and inclusion. To the Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, the Honourable Patrick Gorman, thank you for the support that we receive from the Commonwealth Government through and via the National Australia Day Council. Your commitment and the Commonwealth Government's commitment to the Community Events Grants Program also deserves recognition. This initiative of the Commonwealth provides funding to local councils and not-for-profit organisations, enabling them to celebrate Australia Day with inclusive and accessible community events. It aims to inspire greater participation by young Australians, encourage them to share our nation's future and to help shape it. I'd like to also acknowledge the representatives of the National Australia Day Council Board, being Nikki Govan and Manny Papadoulis, and National CEO Mark Fraser for their support. In particular, I'd like to pay tribute to our 2025 recipients, Diane and Ian Haggerty, Jacinta Vu, brother Ollie Pickett, who of course went on to become the National 2025 Senior Australian of the Year, and Jack Anderson, who can't be with us today as he's away overseas. Thank you for holding the reins and your work over the last 12 months in your roles as Australians of the Year of Western Australia. There's also many dedicated individuals who work behind the scenes to make these celebrations a reality. The unwavering support of our members, our partners, our award sponsors, our ambassadors and our alumni for their support is ongoing. A special thank you to the AustBuy team led by CEO Morgan Lewis for your enthusiasm in elevating Western Australia's role in shaping our national identity. Thank you to my fellow board members, Peter King, David Hinton, Rabia Sadiq, Clive Bingwa, Nick Sloan, Meg Coffey, Jeremy Chetty, Barry Winmar, Priya Brown and Richard Ellis. And also to the selection panel, the judging panel. Thank you for your judgment, your care, your wisdom that you brought to the formidable task of selecting our WA recipients, especially when we had so many fantastic nominees this year. Congratulations to all of our finalists, all of our nominees. Recognition in these awards is a significant accomplishment, and so too is your invaluable contribution to our state and nation. These awards serve as a powerful reminder that Western Australia's true greatness is reflected in our innovation, our creativity and our rich heritage, and above all, the people whose dedication bring these qualities to life. As you enjoy this special event tonight, take pride in celebrating the outstanding individuals who embody the extraordinary spirit that makes Western Australia and our nation such a remarkable place to call home.
Thank you very much, Bradley, and I certainly do not envy your job on the selection panel. I've done it once and I assure you it is not easy. Well, let's get down to the awards. Our first category is the WA Local Hero, which recognises those who've made a significant contribution in their local community. And Premier, I'll just get you back on stage to help present the certificates. First, let's learn some more about this category, which is supported by the Department of Home Affairs.
Our local heroes are everyday Australians doing amazing things in their local communities. They represent what's great about communities. They keep their communities strong and they are the fabric of our society.
It's not easy to just sit around and talk about the problems. I urge everyone, be kind and respectful. You too can be part of the change of the solution.
They'll tell you when we open our doors to our neighbors, we open our hearts, and we give ourselves the chance to rejoice with others, to learn from them.
Hey, it's Tony Burke, the Minister for Home Affairs. I just want to tell you why it's so important that we sponsor the Local Heroes Award. This award, people don't compete for it. People just do what they do. And I love when we recognise people who never sought recognition. There are people who are local heroes because they just very humbly go out and do jobs every day that show leadership through their work. There are people who are local heroes because they stand up for people who, when no one else is standing up for them. There are people who are local heroes because in a moment of crisis, they just step up without thinking about themselves and just helping others. But most importantly, everybody being awarded today did it because of their love of their community, love of their country, love of the people you are helping. And that is worthy of recognition.
The award not only acknowledges work done so far, but gives encouragement to continue, and that's important.
Rural people are worth fighting for because they get up and they show up in fire and flood and droughts and plagues and pandemics, and they put food on the nation's table. So the least we can do as a nation is make sure that they're getting support when they look for it.
Creating a home in Australia is not always easy.
It's about providing opportunities, stability and hope to people who, just like us, just want a chance to make something of their lives.
Just a taste of some of our past recipients there. And now, the 4 nominees for the 2026 Local Hero in WA are...
Bronwyn Bate. For women escaping domestic violence, Bronwyn Bate offers the chance to safely earn an income and transition into secure housing. Bronwyn's social enterprise, Metal Women Inc., trains women, pays them fairly, builds financial independence and provides emotional and legal support. With more than 60% of participants from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds, Bronwyn is helping society's most vulnerable people. Frank Mitchell. Frank Mitchell, a proud Whadjuk Yuwat Noongar man, has dedicated his 4 construction and trade companies to creating opportunities for mob. Shaped by early experiences of loss, in 10 years, Frank has grown his companies to more than 200 full-time staff, created more than 70 Aboriginal upskilling positions, and awarded more than $11 million to Aboriginal subcontractors, integrating cultural responsibility, business leadership, and social justice. Holden Shepherd. Holden Shepherd is an award-winning Western Australian author known for his powerful debut novel, Invisible Boys. A leader, mentor and advocate for the LGBTQIA+ community and for men's mental health, Holden has expanded Writing WA's impact, judged major literary awards and championed diversity and ethical standards. Invisible Boys is now a critically acclaimed Stan original television series. Dr. Lara Sher. Dr. Lara Sher's goal is to eradicate the effects of hearing loss because children who can't hear may struggle to learn. Lara is dedicated to helping those most in need and least able to pay for ear care services. As co-founder and CEO of Earbus Foundation, Lara is enabling hearing impaired children to listen, learn and reach their full potential.
A pretty amazing group of people. Let's meet them. Please welcome Bronwyn Bate. Frank Mitchell. Holden Shepherd. And Dr. Lara Sher. And our 2025 Local Hero recipient in WA, Dr. Jacinta Vu, is also here with us tonight. Dr. Vu, please join us on stage. Premier, over to you to announce our winner.
The 2026 Local Hero for Western Australia is Frank Mitchell.
Frank?
Hello.
I think it's fair to say you were not quite expecting this tonight.
I wasn't. I absolutely wasn't.
How does this feel? Just take a breath. I know you've got to take this in because it's rather overwhelming, but it's an incredibly special accolade. How are you feeling right now?
I'm wanting to thank Bronwyn because we were sitting on the panel for West Australian Social Enterprise Council a year ago, and just what you were doing, I thought she had it in the bag. Absolutely. So, but all the local heroes in our, just the nominees to get to the top four, it has been a really surreal experience.
Can we go back to where this all started for you and the offer of an electrical apprenticeship? You describe that as a defining moment in your life. Why?
Just because I was terrible at school. Mum and Dad will attest to me being suspended all the time. And my worst subject was maths. So knowing that you know, there's this sort of stigma that you have to be excellent at maths to be able to do an electrical apprenticeship, I really didn't think that I had it. But yeah, Uncle Russell, he is someone that gave me the belief to believe in oneself, and I really have found that that is what I want to pay forward in my life.
And why did you want to do that? At what moment were you thinking, when you've got that job, I want others to feel what I feel, I want others to be able to get this opportunity?
It was an absolute life changer. I mean, I had an unplanned son, and when that beautiful boy came into my life, you know, I was only 21, I still felt like I was a kid. It really shook me, and just looking back, those are the two biggest things that happened in my life. Beautiful boy, stopped thinking about myself and then the bit of the haze that I was in, but the electrical apprenticeship gave me so much. I started to think things, I achieved things that I never had previously thought, such as buying a house, and I'm still in that house in Coolbellup today, and I thank that apprenticeship for taking me places.
And the opportunities that you are creating for your workforce, what are the changes that creates for your staff? The opportunities that it gives them?
There's so many amazing stories. Just 2 weeks ago, a young Palawa woman, she came to us, and she herself, a similar story, didn't think that she could become a painter. She got her trade. She's bought her home. And there's just so many countless stories that I see every day at Carden Construction, at Wilco Electrical, in which people have grown from being a shy teenager to someone with confidence, someone that actually thinks, I can be a project manager. You know, Brianna Haynes, Whadjuk woman, very shy. She was so shy, she didn't even want to take the business calls at the reception desk. She would take the cordless phone and scurry into a meeting room to answer the phone, and to see her blossom into a really confident young woman who's now out on site telling men who are in their 50s what to do is just awesome.
Frank, what motivates you? Where's this passion come from?
I definitely feel my parents have been a real rock in my life. Without them, I don't know where I'd be. Growing up in a small community town...
You wouldn't be up here, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious. But stability, I really thank them for that. My sisters, there is people in my life that the saying, it's so cliche, but it takes a village to raise a child. And some of my aunties and uncles, my business partners, Tim Bidstrup and Dwayne Rowland, there is this... this whole process has been a bit awkward because it's such a team effort to be here, and I have really felt that this was the wrong award because there was so much team effort to get to share in the successes in what we do.
You're very humble, but please enjoy it and know that you are an incredibly worthy winner. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nadia.
You're not going anywhere, Premier. Our local hero for 2026, Frank Mitchell, and congratulations to all of our finalists. Now we move on to the Young Australian of the Year, supported by the Australian Government Office for Youth. Now, this award was introduced in 1979 to recognise inspiring young Australians aged between 16 and 30 who've already accomplished some pretty remarkable things. Let's hear a bit more about our young category from some past recipients.
When you look at the Young Australians of the Year, we're all reminded that our future is in really good hands.
I've been given the opportunity in such a beautiful country to be myself, and for me the most important thing is to help the next generation and also inspire them to be themselves and follow their dreams.
We have the power to shape the future and make Australia a place where we're all proud, where we all belong, and where we stand united.
I'm proud to congratulate our exceptional State and Territory Young Australian of the Year finalists for 2026. As Minister for Youth, I'm honoured to support and sponsor the Young Australian of the Year category in these national awards, where the wonderful accomplishments of our young people are in the spotlight. You are inspiring examples of dedication to making positive change, instilling hope for a better and brighter future. You clearly show that young people have so much to offer. Our young finalists are an inspiration to all Australians, and I hope others will see your hard work and choose to become more actively involved in their own communities too. I'm excited to see what's next for these incredible finalists, your contributions to our future, and your influence as amazing role models. I wish you nothing but success.
The Young Australians of the Year have a really impressive energy and a drive to make Australia a better place.
It is still crazy to me that I've done what I have in sport, and I want young kids to know that I was once in the same position that they are now, hoping and dreaming of one day of doing something big. I want to have an impact on people's lives by encouraging them to push hard and go after their dreams and what they're passionate about.
Representation matters. When kids, especially Indigenous kids, see someone like me in this position, it tells them that they belong.
And now the nominees for the 2026 Young Australian of the Year in Western Australia are
Alexis McDonald. Alexis McDonald is an entrepreneur, digital creator and founder of online platform Her Help. Recognised with the Diana Award for her social impact, she's built a community of millions through honest conversations on mental wellness, self-worth and girlhood. Alexis is redefining what it means to grow up online, real, unfiltered and never alone. Brooke McIntosh. Brooke McIntosh knows firsthand the weight of struggling with poor mental health in silence. As an ultra-marathon runner, Brooke spotlights mental health challenges, especially among women, FIFO workers and young people. Brooke has completed 2 long-distance runs to raise funds for mental health causes and to remember those lost to suicide. She's encouraging everyone to save lives through open conversation. Rodriguez Nyong'ere. Rodriguez Nyong'ere is using the power of football to open doors for young people who might otherwise be left out of the game. A passionate para-athlete and coach, Rodriguez creates inclusive football experiences for children with disabilities, breaking down barriers and building confidence, joy and belonging. His mission is to make sure every young person feels valued and has the chance to shine. Dr. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi Kumar. Dr. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi Kumar, co-founders of Man Up, are redefining what it means to man up, not through stoicism or aggression, but through vulnerability, accountability and respect. Through workshops on male culture, relationships and emotional coping, they equip students with practical tools for navigating life's challenges, fostering healthier relationships and setting up young men to thrive.
Well, I do think it's fair to say our future is in good hands. Let us meet our finalists. Alexis McDonald. Brooke McIntosh. Rodriguez Nyong'ere. And Dr. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi Kumar. Premier, will you do the honours?
The 2026 Young Australian of the Year for Western Australia is Dr. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi Kumar.
I'll tell you the lead. And before I speak to our winners, could we please thank the Premier for being part of the presentations? I've got to say, there is a lot of love in this room tonight. So much hugging, it's just fantastic. Take a deep breath. How are you feeling?
Insane.
Microphones.
Feels a little surreal.
Yeah. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll answer it at the end once this all sinks in. But you are redefining what it is to be a man. What were the personal experiences that you both had that put you on this mission?
Firstly, we'd like to acknowledge that we're on Whadjuk Noongar lands and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, acknowledge that this land was stolen, sovereignty was never ceded. This was and always will be Aboriginal land. I think personally, the time that we were in high school, we recognised that what young men were becoming was unchecked, and we had a lack of accountability amongst our peers. And there was a real lack in our education about how and what young men were supposed to look like, and it propagated pretty problematic behaviours. That is a tongue twister. And I think wishing that other young people in a peer-to-peer fashion had spoken to us, which is what really impacted both of our own lives personally, is something that we really wanted to see, and we hope to potentially do that, and it's going to what it is.
Did you notice what was going on at the time? Could you recognise those attitudes that were not okay at that age?
Definitely not. You know, when we're younger, we're kind of taught to follow a mould of what it means to be a man. And unfortunately, it's very subconscious. We don't recognise it at the time, and it often leads to this suppression of emotions and purpose and passion, and that ultimately bottles in and leads to, you know, these unhealthy behaviours that we can often see in society that we're obviously fighting against. And so definitely couldn't recognise it until a tipping point, you know, and I think we use our experiences to make sure that these young boys don't have to get to that tipping point to learn the lessons.
Can you both tell us then about the young boys that you speak to and some of the attitudes that you see and how they react when you tell them, hey, that's not what being a man is all about?
I think it's quite powerful having a male role model that's positive in the first place. I mean, we both have really positive fathers and other really good friends have held us accountable, but to see it in someone else who is young, someone else who's just been through that stage of life where they are questioning whether or not they can be an individual, questioning whether or not they follow the pack with their mentality. Some of these boys talk about experiences that they've never spoken about in a group setting until they're sitting with 5 other of their mates and one of our volunteers. And some of them talk about their own challenges within their own lives, and just because we've created a comfortable space or hope to create a comfortable space for them.
Yeah.
What do they say to you when you ask them? Can you tell us
For sure.
some of the things they say?
Yeah, and you know, we speak to a variety of kids, kids that are really well behaved, but then kids on the other end of the spectrum. And what they say obviously varies. From my experience, a lot of the boys, especially in rural communities, we go up all across WA, they have, I would say, more of those stereotypical mindsets. And initially, there is a little bit of resistance. You know, they're like, who are these guys coming to speak to us? But the way that we get to them is by sharing our own experiences and our own vulnerability. Because maybe initially we build some rapport, you know, kick the footy, have some fun, but then all of a sudden we're talking about our emotions and they're like, wow, I've never seen someone who can do both. I think that's really exciting.
Do you feel like you're saving a generation of young boys?
I think so, we're saving, but I think to extend, like the biggest thing that they say is just, I'm glad I can challenge what I thought was just accepted. And we hope that propagates a change for every young male friendship group in the future.
How many boys, finally, do you think you've spoken to over the years?
We have Since our inception, we've done over 45,000 sessions to 22,000 boys in WA.
That's incredible. Well, congratulations to both of you again, so well deserved, and I do feel like you are saving some young boys, so keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. Please congratulate them. Congratulations. I have to go back like that. Congratulations again to Dr. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi Kumar, our 2026 Young Australian of the Year in WA. Two more categories to go, and I'd like to invite the Governor, His Excellency the Honourable Chris Dawson, AC APM, to join me on the stage. Now, the Department of Health and Aged Care is the category partner for the Senior Australian of the Year. Now, this award celebrates Australians who are over 65 and still making a difference in their community. And let us hear some more about our Senior Australian of the Year category.
The Senior Australian of the Year award is an award that really carries a lot of respect because it's a reflection of many decades of work by the recipient.
Here in Australia, we are fortunate to be the home of the oldest continuing surviving cultures in the world. This is something we should be proud of and we should celebrate.
There is no greater gift to our nation and our humanity than saving lives. To make members of our community part of the solution.
Hi, I'm Sam Ray, the Federal Minister for Aged Care and Seniors. It's a genuine pleasure to congratulate you, our 2026 state and territory finalists for Senior Australian of the Year. This is a moment of great pride. Your dedication to enriching our nation and inspiring others has been moving to witness in my time as Minister for Seniors. Your innovation, leadership and service to our community means so much to so many, and these awards give us all an opportunity to reflect on and honour your incredible contributions. The Albanese Government is proud to sponsor these awards, to recognise and celebrate the older Australians who go above and beyond. Congratulations on your nominations, and I wish you all the very best for the awards.
The Senior Australians of the Year are inspirational not only to other senior Australians but to all Australians, and particularly to the younger generations coming through.
We need equal rights, including fundings, services and resources, so we can work side by side and support each other. And together we can share new ideas to heal our nation. Let all stand up and work together.
Everyone who makes the wheelchairs is a volunteer. A child with a disability receives a new life by getting off the ground, having dignity as well as mobility.
And let us find out a little bit more about our nominees for the 2026 Senior Australian of the Year in WA.
Esme Bowen. For more than 35 years, Esme Bowen has served as a leader and change maker in the disability, health and volunteering sectors. After surviving a spinal injury, she became a passionate advocate for road safety, people with disability and their carers. Esme has influenced policy, contributed to key advisory groups and promoted inclusion and lived experience through her leadership. Professor Kingsley Dixon. Professor Kingsley Dixon is a pioneering botanist whose work has transformed native plant cultivation, land restoration and mine rehabilitation in Australia. As Foundation Director of Science at Kings Park and Botanic Garden in Perth, he led global research, discovered smoke-induced germination, educated thousands and collaborated with Indigenous communities. Kingsley bridges research and action, shaping environmental stewardship and conservation policy in Australia and internationally. Martin Meader. Martin Meader unites people through song. Welcoming everyone, Martin's Born to Sing community choirs have raised more than $250,000 for charitable causes. By gathering diverse people to sing, Martin fosters community connections, combating loneliness and strengthening mental health. In 2023, he launched the Born to Sing 1000 concert, uniting 1,000 community singers for a sold-out show at Perth Concert Hall. Griff Morris. Griff Morris pioneered passive solar housing in Western Australia and has raised the benchmark for sustainable design. Since 1991, Griff has been showing industry professionals, governments and homeowners that design can be beautiful, responsible and accessible. He's a powerful advocate for people with disabilities, and he's also a long-term supporter of the Hunger Project, an organisation dedicated to ending world hunger through sustainable grassroots solutions.
Well, let's meet our nominees. Esme Bowen. Professor Kingsley Dixon, AO. Martin Meader. And Griff Morris. And let us welcome not only our West Australian Senior Australian of the Year for 2025, but the National Senior Australian of the Year, Brother Ollie Pickett. And Governor, would you please do the honours? I need you here, Governor.
I started off directing traffic, I haven't stopped. The 2026 Senior Australian of the Year for Western Australia is Professor Kingsley Dixon.
Professor Kingsley Dixon, AO, congratulations. Now, this is a very abridged version of some of your success. You have published more than 400 scientific publications, including 18 books. You have a very long list of awards and accolades. There are far too many to mention. You are in the top 1% of global scientists in your field. You have an orchid species named after you. Please pronounce it.
The flying duck orchid. Perichelliana dixonii.
That was the Calliana dixonia, is that right?
Yep.
And now this. How does this recognition sit with all of that?
It pales into insignificance. I'm just totally in awe. It's totally unexpected. I said to my colleague, I'm barracking for Esme. So extraordinarily humbling, I must say.
You describe yourself as a plant geek. What led you to this career?
I think as a West Aussie kid, growing up in the bush, living in my parents' handmade cement house, I watched the bush, I loved the bush, I watched Carnaby's fly over, blackening the sky, and it was easy to fall in love with this extraordinary place we call Western Australia. So that was really where it all started, and then a wonderful family who loved growing plants, a grandmother, and then Nan and Sue Harper, who established the first native plant nursery in 1959 in Guildford, and also established the first Aboriginal infant health care and sponsored a person called Fiona Stanley. She was my great mentor, or those two women were my great mentors in building my career all the way to where it is today. Thank you.
What matters most with what you do?
What matters most is, I guess, when I heard the words from Elder Les Schultz, who's a Nudju elder, speak solemnly a few years ago. He said, "We are the kings of extinction." And I realised that the mission we have in life as professionals is to go to our community, go to our First Nations, and we must become the makers of future nature. Without our nature, we have no healthy country, we have no healthy culture, and we will rob future generations of the joys that I've enjoyed, and I've enjoyed sharing with the extraordinary community members that I am so privileged to work with.
So on that point, Kingsley, you are not afraid to speak publicly about what you really think. You do tell some very tough truths. You do take on some big international companies. Do you think we are facing a biodiversity crisis?
We have the oldest continuous civilization on Earth. We now have the oldest continuous biodiversity on Earth. That's published in June this year. It reminds us, and that's in Western Australia, not Eastern Australia, and it reminds us all that where we live and this place we call home is also the home to countless thousands of other species, and their future sits in our hands and in the way we think and plan. And it's up to all of us not to be bystanders in what's coming, but to be participants in creating a better future for biodiversity, for our planet, and for us to be beacons for the rest of the planet. I think we can do it, I know we can do it, and we must do it.
We've got one more.
Thank you.
So well said. We are lucky to have you championing our environment. You did lose your incredible and cherished cypress farm and your garden in a bushfire last year. How is that rebuild going?
Well, Lionel, my husband, we had our 70th and 80th birthdays 2 months after the fire. We didn't have a birthday, we postponed it to this year. I said, let's leave it for a better year. But if ever there's something to build the strength, and I think every Australian knows this as we deal with life on the planet, and I've had family fight in the world wars, we pick ourselves up, we shake ourselves down, and we get on with the business. And I'm really proud to say that together with our community, Cypress Farm is open for business again. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you also just, if you have never seen pictures of Cypress Farm before the fire, and it will get back to what it was, can you Google it, because it really is truly a work of art. Our final category now, the Australian of the Year, which celebrates the achievements and contributions of eminent Australians who have excelled and emerged as prominent role models. There is a long list of past recipients from such different sectors and backgrounds whose achievements are also worth celebrating. And so let's remind ourselves of some of them.
I think we can all really aspire to be like the Australians of the Year. The Australians of the Year really help to shape our nation as we move into the future, which is why we should be so grateful for their ongoing work.
We have to have greater representation of people with a disability absolutely everywhere. In our boardrooms, in our parliaments, in our mainstream schools, on our dating apps, on our sporting fields, in our universities, absolutely everywhere.
If I can make a difference to someone else's life, if they can draw some strength by hearing what I say and knowing that I'm speaking on their behalf, it'll give me a lot of hope.
There's a temptation to take the easy route, to think that life will be better if we mould it to make it as comfortable as possible. Time is short, get amongst it and take your kids with you.
When you look back at the amazing list of Australians of the Year over the last 60 plus years, it's an extraordinary group of people: musicians, athletes, scientists, Aboriginal leaders, advocates, environmentalists, rescuers. It's an amazing list of incredible Australians.
Our mission is 0 deaths from melanoma. To reach it, in addition to prevention, we need a targeted screening program and greater investment in research. This must be a national health priority.
Beyond melanoma and into the broader cancer field, more courage is needed to push treatment boundaries, backed by science, for the benefit of all cancer patients.
If people truly understood the challenges we face, they'd join the fight with me. And you have. Together, we have built a movement.
Well, let's meet our nominees for the WA 2026 Australian of the Year.
Dr. Gareth Baynham. Dr. Gareth Baynham combines clinical science and compassion to find answers for people living with rare diseases. Gareth is a role model for researchers, clinicians and advocates. He's striving to make healthcare more inclusive, innovative and responsive, especially for patients who struggle to be heard. His work is changing the lives of hundreds of thousands of Australians living with collectively common rare conditions. Kennedy Lay. Kennedy Lay has reimagined accessible healthcare as he improves the lives of thousands in rural and remote communities. The founder of Fly2 Health Group, Kennedy established a multidisciplinary team that delivers more than 30,000 appointments annually across Australia. Kennedy demonstrates how bold thinking can solve complex social challenges and that the tyranny of distance should never determine the quality of care. Dr. Daniela Vecchio. Dr. Daniela Vecchio is a recognised leader in behavioural addictions. In 2022, she founded the unique Gaming Disorder Clinic at Fiona Stanley Hospital with the vision to develop screening, prevention and early intervention programs. Through her vision, care and tireless service, she's shaping a responsive, inclusive and future-focused service for the rapidly growing number of young Australians harmed from their online use. Dr. Tracy Westerman. Dr. Tracy Westerman is a pioneer in Aboriginal mental health and suicide prevention. Responding to the absence of methods to treat and assess at-risk Aboriginal youth in a culturally safe and valid way, she funded the only culturally and clinically validated screening tools in Australia. Training 50,000 practitioners in their use, she's ensured exponential research into our highest risk communities.
Well, let's welcome to the stage Dr. Gareth Baynham. Kennedy Lay. Dr. Daniela Vecchio. And Dr. Tracy Westerman AM. They all deserve a huge round of applause. And do keep the applause going for our WA 2025 Australian of the Year, Diane and Ian Haggerty. And Governor, could you please announce our winner?
The 2026 Australian of the Year for Western Australia is Dr. Daniela Vecchio.
And before we have a chat to Dr. Vecchio, could you please thank the Governor, Chris Dawson. I met Daniela's children before this ceremony. I said, I hope you're proud of your mum. And they went, yeah. Well, I hope you're even prouder because this is a well-deserved accolade. Congratulations. And what is running through your head right now?
A lot of emotions. I'm delighted for this acknowledgement, and I'm thankful to the community for the recognition of the work that I do, that my clinic does. And this is very encouraging. I'm hopeful that we can continue to grow, to develop, to help our children who are in need, to help our community.
Daniela, you've had something like 300 patients treated at the Addictions Clinic, which is the first of its kind in Australia. Can you tell us about the kids that you see and help us understand what their addiction is like?
They are addicted to playing video games. They spend excessive time. They spend many hours during the day and also at night. They become socially isolated. They become anxious. They become very aggressive towards their families, towards friends. When limits are placed, they can be suicidal. And what is very concerning is they stop going to school. They refuse to go to school. They fall behind academically. And they feel inadequate, and they continue to escape in this online world where they are not safe. It's not safe the amount of hours they spend there. These has negative consequences on their life chances. I would call these children almost the invisible children, because they are isolated in their room. They don't participate anymore to activities. And these are the children, these are the future, these are our future, that we need to help. We need to help these children, and we need to help their families. So please help us.
How young? How young are some of these kids?
They're very young, and we are starting receiving an increasing number of referrals for very young children, aged 7, 8. We see patients across the lifespan. Majority are teenagers in the age cohort 15 to 19, mainly boys. And this is followed by the age cohort 10 to 14. So these are very young children. So some of the important things that we do is we try to reconnect these children to their families, to their communities. We want to facilitate the return to school. We want to facilitate training for this generation.
I bet, Daniela, when you talk to people about the kids you see and how young they are and how much time they spend online, I'm sure a lot of people say, well, where are the parents? What are the parents doing? How do you answer that question?
This is a digital world where, if you like, our children are growing. And parents, people of my generation, are in a sense behind also, because we used to study and have books, many books, but now they use laptops, computers. And parents struggle in understanding how to protect the children. The parents that, we help not just children. There are some children who do not want to attend the clinic, but still we help parents. We try to empower parents. Parents need education, help, support, because they are desperate, they feel inadequate, they blame themselves, there is nothing they have to blame, they need support. And this is what we do, and what we want is something that we feel needs to be developed. Programs of family education, programs of education in the community. We need awareness. We need early intervention, because the children, Nadia, that we see in our clinic are very complex. We want to be able to do the prevention. This is a must for us. We want to do early intervention. We want to be able to capture and to help people in the early stages of the addiction. And to do that, we need screenings. Screenings in the community. Our clinic is in the hospital. On a case-by-case, we see children in school, at home, but we really need to understand the extent of the problem. These invisible children who do not attend school. Some data indicate that if we compare with, prevalence, which there are some studies over East, which indicate that 2.8% of teenagers age 12 to 17 have a gaming disorder, and more than 10% are at risk. We talk about teenagers. If we refer this to Western Australia, we talk about more than, if you like, 6,000 children have gaming disorder, and more than 22,000 are at risk. And this is where we need to put our resources on these high-risk children.
There is a bit to think about, and I think we just really need to take stock of those statistics you've just shared with us. Dr. Daniela Vecchio, thank you so much. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations again to Daniela Vecchio and all of our recipients. So they will all become nominees for the National Award, along with all the other state and territory recipients. And hosting them in Canberra in January next year is the Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, Assistant Minister for the Public Service and for Employment and Workplace Relations, the Honourable Patrick Gorman MP. Please make him welcome.
Thank you very much, Nadia, and thank you also to Rosemary for that wonderful welcome to country. If I won't do the full acknowledgements, but we are in their house, so please allow me to acknowledge His Excellency the Governor, Chris Dawson, and Mrs. Darylyn Dawson. Thank you very much for hosting us. The Premier, Roger Cook, thank you for your strong support of these awards. It makes a huge difference. If I acknowledge the Lord Mayor of the City of Perth, if I acknowledge the Opposition Leader, Basil Zemplis, and if I acknowledge my friend Ken Wyatt, a former Minister who's here, in addition to all public servants and all members of Parliament who are with us. These awards tell our national story, but unlike most of what we do in politics, we don't do it through reports and statistics. We tell that story through our people. And in a world where things can feel very divided, these awards truly bring people together. And I believe that every Western Australian is a great Australian, but if I can particularly pay respect to Brother Ollie for his outstanding service as Senior Australian of the Year this year. And what we've seen tonight are some of the very best of Australia. We've seen role models, people who truly believe in others, and we're going to give them a huge megaphone for their message. And let's look at those messages. Frank Mitchell, talking about the power of an apprenticeship to give him the belief to believe in himself, and thanked the apprenticeship for taking him places and wanting to make sure that that was passed on to others. Hasib Riaz and Gareth Shanthi-Kumar, who talked about the ability that some blokes do have to both kick a footy and show emotion, and the amazing power of positive male role models, having changed the lives of some 22,000 people in this state. We have Kingsley Dixon, who spoke of love of Western Australia, love of the bush, and challenged us all to become makers of future nature. And Daniela Vecchio, that was an incredible presentation, a very worthy recipient, because despite seeing young people struggling with awful addiction, she starts out her comments by saying, "I am hopeful." And then she talks about these invisible children that she sees, and she's made sure that all of us see and we recognise that they don't have to be in the grip of an addiction. That's the power of these awards. That's the power of celebrating the absolute best of Australia, and it's what we do through the Australian of the Year. I look forward to welcoming these outstanding Western Australians to Canberra alongside Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in January next year. We will do Western Australia proud on the national stage, as we do each and every year. Congratulations once again to all of the recipients.
Thank you very much for that, Patrick. Well, of course, none of this would happen without the support of federal, state and territory governments, as well as some dedicated sponsors who we would like to acknowledge now. We've already heard from category partners, the Departments of Health and Aged Care, Home Affairs and the Australian Government Office for Youth. We'd also like to acknowledge our broadcast partner, the ABC. You're welcome. Thank you to our media partner, Australian Community Media, who reach rural, regional and remote audiences around the country. Thanks to accommodation partner Crown Plaza Canberra and to cultural partner the Australian National University, who produce those beautiful trophies. Thanks to exhibition partner the National Museum of Australia and our legal partner Minter Ellison. Please join me in thanking our national partners for their support. And at a local level, I'd like to acknowledge the Government of Western Australia for its financial support. Also, thank you to Tate Wines for providing the wines that we are all going to enjoy this evening. Also, Auspire, Australia Day Council WA, as the organisation responsible for tonight's celebrations and for delivering this award program in WA. Thank you again to His Excellency, the Honourable Chris Dawson, AC APM, Governor of Western Australia, and Mrs Darylyn Dawson for hosting us here again at the Government House Ballroom, and hopefully we can come back again next year. The Governor and Mrs Dawson will be departing after photo, so please thank them again for opening up their home. And that does bring us to the end of tonight's formal proceedings. To all of our 2026 nominees, please do remember that someone in your community thinks you're amazing, so much so that they took the time to send in a nomination. Just being here shows that it does not go unnoticed, and please, please keep doing what you are doing. To everyone watching and listening, get involved and nominate someone who inspires you at australianoftheyear.org.au and follow the nominate button, and nominations are open all year round, so you know what you can all do tomorrow. Don't forget, please, again, to tune in to the national announcement live on the ABC, and that is the evening before Australia Day. Thank you all once again for being part of this celebration, and have a good evening.